Well, welcome back to the studio. Today I am working on a piece that's Venice. This is for my gallery in Sedona, Arizona. This whole painting is based on a picture of an arch that I showed in the very first frame of the video. I saw that archway and I just thought, oh my gosh, that would make a cool Venice painting. So I've built the whole composition around that arch. And then after that frame, I then showed you a picture of the basic plan sketched up on the canvas. So you might want to just go back to those and look at those, because that kind of gives you the basis of this painting. Now I have my wall back here blocked in or painted in the shutters, and the intent of this piece is the whole front is going to be pretty much in shadow. I probably will have a little shaft of light coming in, but I want the arch to be dark so it frames this table for two in the background. The wall is combinations of my mud, which is ultramarine blue plus alizarin crimson plus cadmium orange plus white. The shutters are a mixture of viridian green plus a little bit of phthalo blue plus white. So now I'm going to start working on my umbrella. And this is a combination of phthalo blue and then a Rembrandt oil color that I use. This is called phthalo turquoise blue. And it just adds a little bit of turquoise to the phthalo blue and just makes a nice soft color. I start with doing the shadow part of the umbrella underneath. And after I painted the wall, then I dragged my pole for the umbrella into that wet paint. So it gives it a nice smooth edge. I want to work around that. I can always come back and re-pull that again, but this just gives me a nice, lets me work around that. I want to get my shadow in first. And my reference is on my laptop, which is right beside my easel on my tabaret. I can just refer to that as I paint. And by painting the background first, then it makes it very easy then to paint this stuff over it. I always paint forward. In other words, paint the background first and then start moving forward as I paint. This is another little panel here. And these all go back up to this central part. I'll add the braces underneath in a minute. First, I want to get my shadow part of the umbrella in. That picks up a little of that color underneath, which just gives it a nice soft, I like that, so I'm going to leave that. You have those happy accidents happen when you paint, and sometimes it's hard to leave them. Just over time you learn to say, oh, that's nice, and leave it alone. Okay, I've got the shadow painted underneath. Now I'll go ahead and go back and pull my umbrella pole here. It's just easy to pull that over that wet paint. That edge smooth. Clean out my brush. Having a clean brush is the secret to having nice crisp color on your canvas. So that's very important to keep cleaning your brush, especially when you do something like that, because I'll pick up some of the blue paint, and you don't want to get the blue and the brown mixed, because then it will muddy the blue color. It won't be nice and vibrant. Now each of these panels this is going to be the lightest, because our light is coming in from the upper left. So this panel is going to be very much lighter than the others. Now I'm using a bright brush. That's a square brush. And it makes it, you can see it makes that very easy to just pull that edge. Oop, I got the wrong color. And I like that because that gives a little edge, a nice little kind of lip on that edge, and that really gives the feel of the cloth on that umbrella. So that's this panel here. Now the next panel is going to be a little bit darker because it receives less sunlight. Particularly here because the plane of that cloth kind of comes up a little bit so less sun is hitting it. So this is darker. That dips down just a little bit. Now this gets lighter up here because as it raises up to that next bracket underneath, it catches more light. I can just bring that over my lighter color. Now this back panel is going to be dark because it's not getting any light. With the light coming in from the left, the panel on the right is going to be dark. It's almost too dark, so I'll just come back with my little lighter mixture. Now I'm going to soften this back edge, so I just drag over where that meets the background. Just soften that, and that makes that edge go back. Soft edges go back, hard, sharp edges come forward. And this I'm going to soften this back edge just a little bit there. I'm going to leave it harder up on this side. And that bracket in the back, I'm going to get a little, I saved my background colors. This actually is going to start coming up there a little bit. I'll pull those brackets in. Now on an umbrella, there's a little flap up here that allows the wind to kind of blow through the umbrella so it doesn't just knock it over, and that kind of a little, this is fuller material because it can flap and all, so it is not down tight. But I just has some little shadows here in it. And then it has a little shadow here where it casts a little shadow onto the panel underneath. Now I'm going to take a little lighter mixture, mix a little bit of white into my light mixture, and I'm going to accentuate this edge where the sunlight catches it. I can just lay that color on. Now there's going to be a little shadow here where that comes up. And there's going to be just light catches it there. This is going to be a little bit darker here. This shadows, just has a little shadow there. And then I'm going to let this pop up a little bit there. I'm going to highlight some of that where the sun catches it. Okay, that's our little flap on the umbrella. Now I'm going to make the ribs of the umbrella. And this is a mixture of my mud plus cadmium orange. It just makes a nice brown. And those ribs kind of stick out here. And so you can just visually take that up to here. And now I'm coming down this way. Let's see. This one down here goes. And I'm just pulling those into that wet paint so it softens the color. There's a rib here. Come down. And there's a little flap of material over the end of those ribs. Like this one catches the light. I'm going to let that really catch the light here. Kind of dips down. And then there will be one here where this dips down. Okay. This is going to get a little bit lighter here on this panel because it raises up just a touch, coming up over that rib. So that front part's just a little bit lighter. That light makes it come forward. Now there's this, the rest of the rib contraction is a part that goes up and down. I don't know what that's called, but it's when you open up the umbrella, you push it up and it pushes the ribs out. And these then attach to the ribs. So there's one here that's coming actually up to this rib. There's one to this rib right there, comes down. One out to that rib. And then the rib behind it is going to almost be, you're really not going to see much of that one. And then we're going to have the same thing on this side. And then there will be one to that rib in the back. This I'm going to make a little bit not as orange. There's that one, and then there is this one here. Now I'm going to have just this, going to catch the light just a little bit on this one here, comes forward. That's too much. Just a little bit of light, not a lot. Oh, that other one's in the background. Oops, 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 oops. And here's the hub that they all attach to. And this is in the background, so I don't want it just real detailed, but I do want it, you know, just to be there. I'm going to add a little brush stroke of ultramarine blue plus white just to cool that down, bring that back edge. And there is our umbrella. I appreciate you following my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to follow the rest of the step-by-step painting of this one, as well as others that I do, visit my blog. The address is in the description below my video. It's also on the final frame. The address is www.mickeysenkarik.wordpress.com. Again, thank you for following along. Always feel free to ask questions, and you have a great day. I hope you come visit our studio again.